So we are going through the programs. We have seen this. We have also seen this, and here I also told you how to modify this program for the holes. Yesterday I told you that we'll do this now. Now here the dimensions are in inches. So you have to drill two holes. Then you have a slot, through and through slot, and you have one more slot that is 1 inch wide by 3 inch long, and the depth of this slot is 5 inch. Depth of this slot is 5 inch, and depth of this slot is 1 inch. These holes are through and through. Drawing is not to scale. Your program 0 point is here, and Z 0 point is at the bottom of this face. And the tools which are available are: number one, this is 5 by 8 inch drill. So two holes, 5 8 inch drill, at a distance of 1 inch in X direction, and in Y direction it will be 2 inch from here, 2 inch from both the sides. That means this is 1.5, 3, 3, 3, 6, and 6 minus. So this will be 4 inch from here. The thickness is 2 inch. So now let's go. Now this is G70. So G70, as I told, the first block will be G28, G91, X0, Y0, Z0. So reference written. Then in the second block you have to write G70, G90, G80, G40. So G70 is for the inch selection, G90 is for the absolute, G40 is tool diameter compensation cancel, G80 is the canned cycle cancel, and then M06 is tool change and tool number 1. Before this, now see what happens here. Examiner gets confused. What is this tool number 1? What you are trying to do? Because there are so many operations here. Drilling hai, milling hai. Huh? So what exactly you want to? So that's why it is always better to have a tabular information in which you write down all the sequence of operations, write down the tools, write down the speeds, write down the fields, and you have one more column for the remark. So now let us see here tool number 1 kya hai, because here it is not mentioned. So now we'll have to check. Hmm? Now next block, that is G00. G00 X is 1 inch, That means it is going to come here. X is 1 inch, that is in this direction. Then Y is 2 inch, that means now the tool is positioned over here. X is 1 inch, Y is 2 inch, and Z is 2.2. Z is 2.2. If it is not visible, you can write it down, whatever I am pronouncing. So 2.2, now Z is 2.2 means it is from this surface. Remember, it is from this surface, it is 2.2. That means 0.2 millimeter, zero point 0.2 inch above this top surface. Zero point 0.2. So you can calculate. So zero point 0.2 into 25.4. So it means it will be approximately 5 mm above this surface. So that is fair enough. You can go till 2 mm, not below 2. Hmm? So this is Z is 2.200, that is 2.2 inches with respect to bottom. So this thickness is 2 inch. That means now the tool is over here. It is above this hole. That means we can conclude that this is going to be a drilling and 5/8. So we can say that tool number 1 is 5/8. See, हम लोग inches में the practice is instead of saying 5/8 inch, we say 5/8. 5/8 drill. 5/8 means 5/8. Then you have to start a spindle. Here it is feed, that is G95 because this is inches per minute. Huh? Then spindle speed is 480, NM03, that is spindle start. Now we are calling the cycle G81 Z minus 0.1. Now there is no need to give X and Y because it is already positioned. So the tool is not moved away from this point. So it's going to drill at this point only, X and Y. That is this. Z minus zero point 0.1. Now Z0 is here. Correct? That means it's going to down below this surface by 0.1 inch. 0.1 inch how much? 2.54 millimeter. मतलब ये फेस से ड्रिल 2.54 नीचे जा रहा है. That is fair because this is just to consider the point. अब Z, suppose if you say Z0, that means drill point will come here. So hole is not drilled properly. That means the hole is not drilled properly. So you have to go down below this surface. I say so. It is Z minus 0. If it is not clearly visible, you can write it on Z minus 0.1, and R is the retract distance 2.2. मतलब drilling होने के बाद it will move up at a distance of 2.2. That means 0.2 inches above the surface. If you say R5 here, 5.0 inch, that means on this surface it will move up rapidly to 5 inches. That means 3 inches above the surface. I hope it is clear. Now let's see now this is at block number N40. The drilling is completed. Tool number 1 is 5/8 high speed steel drill, HSS drill. You can write it down. So again you don't have to go through the program. So somewhere you can write T01 is 5/8 inch drill. Now next is now see, now only y dimension is there. So that means x dimension is going to remain same, which is nothing but 1 inch. This distance is 1 inch. Now 4 inch from this. We already calculated here total 6 inches, 6 minus 2, 4 inch. So with respect to this, it is 4. Now that means the drill is positioned at this hole. Hmm? And this hole size is also 5 by 8 because here it is mentioned precisely that 2 holes 5 by 8, and there are only 2 holes, this and this. Hmm? So y is 4 inch and z is again minus zero point 0.1. See, this minus sign may not be visible, but it is there. Z is minus zero point 0.1. That means इसके नीचे 0.1. That means ये फेस के नीचे 2.54 millimeter down, and R is again a retract position 2.2. Even you need not have to write this Z and R again. because once you are given previously in this block, this block G81 till it is cancelled, it will take same Z and same R. So this is a repetitive. This you simply here you give G81 Y4. That's all. Fine. G81 Y4. Even if you don't give G81, that is also fine because it's a model code. So in this block, N50 would have been replaced by simply Y4.0. That's all. Or simply Y4 point. So simple. Now next block is N60, that is here we are stopping the spindle M05. Now this is wrong here. There are many mistakes in these blocks, so I will request you to write down these mistakes. जो भी है वो. First mistake is that you will get 0 marks for this because of the mistakes. I hope you can identify one, two, three. There are three M codes written in this block, and I have been telling you that there can be only one M code in a block. There can be multiple G code. There can be many G codes in a block, but there cannot be more than one M codes. And this is what you get. This program is taken by the net. And this is what I want to tell you that स्टूडेंट तो बोलते हैं सर मैंने तो नेट से डाउनलोड किया बराबर ही है बराबर ही होगा सो दिस इज व्हाट बराबर होगा so this kind of information I am not telling that it is 100% wrong but it is not 100% precise unless and until you check with the authentic sites, proper sites. No CNC machine will take 3 M codes or more than one M code in a block till now so far. There cannot be more than one M codes. And see, it is logical. देखो, it is logical. You are studying in engineering, wherever you have completed almost 1.5 years. In this block, M05 means spindle stop, okay, and M03 is spindle start. Don't you think that it is contradictory? How this will happen? आप स्पिंडल चालू करने को भी बोलते हैं और स्पिंडल स्टॉप करने को भी बोलते हैं हाउ इज इट पॉसिबल एट द सेम टाइम आप टूल भी चेंज करने को बोल रहे हैं सो फनी स्पिंडल स्टॉप करने को बोल रहे हैं स्पिंडल चेंज टूल भी चेंज करने को बोल रहे हैं और स्पिंडल चालू भी करने को बोल रहे हैं you are given the RPM also on top of that you are also written the feed also मेरा काम हो गया मैंने स्पिंडल चालू किया टूल चेंज किया स्पिंडल भी रुक दिया तो पहला मतलब पहला आरपीएम बंद किया हाँ और टूल चेंज भी करवाया और स्पिंडल भी चालू किया but it is not possible so here how to do this first is you have to stop the spindle M05 if coolant is on then you have to say M09 in the next block of course not in the same block then it is always a safe practice programming practice to take the tool to the reference position or not a safe practice it is inbuilt actually practice because all the machining center the tool change will happen only at the reference point machine 0 point पे tool change हो जाएगा इधर किधर बीच में tool change नहीं होएगा it's not possible so you have to take the machine to the reference point so obviously you have to say G28 G91 X0 Y0 Z0 and then next block में so this instead of this one block there will be 4 blocks पहला ब्लॉक में आपने M05 किया दूसरा ब्लॉक में आपने M09 दिया हाँ then तीसरा ब्लॉक में you have taken the tool to the reference point and in that you can write M06 T02 in the same block G20 G28 G91 X0 Y0 Z0 में you can also write M06 T02 that is you are changing the tool and that will happen as I told कि it reads the CNC machine reads the complete block and then only it executes so this sequence or this order is not important you can have Z here you can have G00 at the end doesn't matter it reads the complete block till it finds the dot or star symbol, that is end of block symbol. Till it find the end of block symbol, it continuously reads it. Reset. Okay, so M05 enter, M09 enter. Enter means next block. Then G28, G91, X0, Y0, Z0, M06, tool number 2. Then fourth block, you can say M03, S2400 and F50. That is you are starting the spindle. Now where you are starting the spindle? At the reference position. Actually, it is not good. See, technically nothing wrong. That is tool is change and you can start the spindle, but it is not good actually. मतलब आप it is always good practice that you bring the tool here above the surface and there you start the spindle. मतलब आप ड्रिल को यहाँ पे खड़ा करो और यहाँ पे चालू करो. अभी क्या हो रहा है, रेफरेंस पॉइंट यहाँ पे इधर और यहाँ से आप टूल वो वो चालू करके यहाँ पे लेके आ रहे हैं. Technically nothing wrong, machining time wise nothing wrong, nothing, absolutely no problem. Hmm? But it is not a good machining practice. Okay, so आप क्या करो, रेफरेंस पॉइंट के बाद you bring the tool, position the tool and then you start the spindle and you also start the coolant. You can start the coolant here also. आप M08 यहाँ पे भी दे सकते हैं. Moment to change the tool, हाँ, M08, लेकिन क्या होगा, यहाँ पे कूलेंट चालू हो जाएगा एंड देन वो चालू कूलेंट में ऐसा मशीन यहाँ से रैपिडली इधर आ जाएगा. So all the tool will spurt away. वैसे so good practice that you bring the tool here, start the spindle and next block में आप start the coolant. hmm? So the coolant is not spurting away. hmm? तो यहाँ से चालू करेंगे तो पूरा आउटसाइड जो एनवायरनमेंट है, सराउंडिंग है, वहां पे भी कूलेंट गिर जाएगा एंड इट विल बिकम ऑयली and accident will happen. And of course the operator will also become wet, or whoever is there will become wet, will be wet. hmm? So अभी देखते हैं टूल नंबर 2 कौन सा है. Let us see tool number 2. So now how to debug. So G00 X is 3.5 inch. अभी 3.5 इंच मतलब कहाँ पे आएगा, 3.5 इंच ये 7 इंच है. बाद में how much is this, 1 2 3 4, so 3 inch, ये 3 inch है आपका. This distance is 3 inch. Okay, इसका width है 1 inch. तो इसका half will be 0.5. That means when you say 3.5 inch यहाँ पे, when you say 3.5 inch, that means the tool is going to come at the center of this. ये जो slot है उसका सेंटर में. अभी उसका सेंटर में कहाँ पे, मतलब we'll see along the y direction कहाँ पे. So that is y minus 0.6 inch. Remember these are all inch dimension. So y minus 0.6 मतलब यहाँ से 0.6 पीछे, मतलब आधा इंच से ज्यादा, more than half an inch. Okay, now 5 by 8 means half inch means 12.5 and 5 by 8 is I think 15.875. huh? 5 by 8, if you want you can calculate 5 upon 8 into 25.4. So that comes to, because we understand millimeter wave, isn't it? Yeah, 15.875, so that is 15.9, or you can say around 16. Okay, so here the cutter is positioned from this, the cutter ka center line is positioned at a distance of 16. That means you can use कितने का diameter, maximum is 16 का 15.875 का twice 32, but 32 is just cut करेगा यहाँ पे. So maximum diameter what you can use is 30 millimeter dia, not more than 30 millimeter dia. So here I can now say that change to milling cutter diameter 30. Diameter 30. Now again you have to see, if you are using diameter 30, yes, it can position here properly. hmm? Because we are already, the center line is 15.87, but let us say 15.9, 30 का half 15 होता है, that means 0.9 का gap मिलेगा. But now my width is 1 inch 25, isn't it? So I have to be careful. I cannot use 30 dia cutter. That means I have to use 1 inch. बराबर है. Maximum what I can use is 1 inch. So if I use 1 inch, okay, 1 inch. So this distance is zero point 0.6. Okay, so 1 inch का आधा कितना हो गया 0.5. So there will be a gap of 0.1 inch, that is 2.54. That is very nice. Hmm? Because we have to always keep a gap of whenever you are positioning, इसके ऊपर या इसके बाजू में किधर भी, यहाँ पे यहाँ पे यहाँ पे, you have to keep a clearance of at least minimum 2 mm. So here now we have a clearance of 2.5. 2.5 होने के बाद now let us see what is happening in the program. क्या हो रहा है. So अभी y minus 0.6, z is 2.2. अभी कटर 0.2 अप है. हम्म, अभी इसने क्या किया G00 Z1. ओके, तो अभी कटर को नीचे लेके आए G00 Z1 इंच. सो दैट इज, इसका जो डीप, द डेप्थ ऑफ दिस स्लॉट इज 1 इंच. सो नाउ द कटर इज at a height of 1 inch from this surface. Okay, now G01 Y7.2, that means now it is going to move across this slot. So it's going to cut this, मतलब एक कट में it's going to finish 7.2. Now how 7.2, that is what you have to see now. 7.2 कैसा आया. Now this is 6 inch, बराबर है 6 inch, and then 7.2 inch मतलब now instead of 7.2, uh, he could have given this dimension as 0.6 more, 0.6 more. So that is again a mistake here. See, this is what happen when you download a program from the net. So यहाँ से 0.6, so यहाँ से 0.6 मतलब this will be 7.6. So even if you take the cutter till 7.6, then there is a gap of 0.1 inch. That is fair enough. Okay. So 7.2 जाने का जरूरत नहीं है. Y 7.2, you can take it to Y 6.6. मतलब this is 3 and 1.5, 1.5, 3, this is 6 और 0.6 आगे. So instead of 7.2, you can take this, you can write this as 6.6. That means your some machining time will be saved. So एक ही कट में आप फिनिश कर रहे. Then rapidly आप you are bringing the tool to x4. x4 x4 मतलब now the tool is here. Yeah, now I understand why this 7.2. Now this 7.2 he has taken, he might have considered it's an incremental distance. Understand, no? That's why he has got that 7.2 a 6 or zero point 0.6 either or zero point 0.6 either. So zero point 0.6 into 0.6, 0.6 plus 0.6, so that is 1.2 plus 6, that is 7.2. But we are not doing any incremental. We are into absolute. We are using G9, isn't it? So that's mistake. That's mistake. So अभी slot होने के बाद now the tool is here at a distance of 6.6 and x x कितना distance पे है? X is at a distance of कितना था 3.5, isn't it? 3.5 and in y direction it is 6.6. now यहाँ से हम लोग move कर रहे हैं x को 4 inch. 4 inch. So now 4 inch means where? This is what is here 4 inch. Hmm? 4 inch. Okay. अभी यहाँ पे एक गड़बड़ है. Let us see what is that गड़बड़ is. Now we have drilled these two holes and we have drilled this slot also. Okay. Forget about what is this. There is one more slot here. Okay. So that has not been done. And let us assume that width of this slot is 1 inch. Width of this slot is also 1 inch and width of this slot is also 1 inch. So let us assume that all the widths are 1 inch. Now we are done ऐसा straight ऐसा किया है. So now how to do this and how to do this. So we have used two tools here. One tool is HSS drill, that is 5/8 dia drill, and second is end mill cutter and the diameter of the end mill cutter is 1 inch. So this, if you want to use this half inch diameter milling cutter, then you'll have to take two passes like this. ऐसा जाके वापस you have to come back. Then only it can finish this 1 inch. And not two passes. You'll have to go for three passes because you cannot, you have to normally this distance that is the tool travels. You have to take the 80% of the diameter because if you pass, this is exactly 1 inch and you are using half inch का cutter. So half inch like this half inch. So in between no, यहाँ पे आपको एक ऐसा ridge मिलेगा, line मिलेगा. So in order to cover that line, because you are moving the distance exactly by the diameter, so you have to move the distance by 80% of the diameter and not exactly by the diameter. So if you are using half inch and if you want to cut this 1 inch, then you'll have to take three passes. दो पास में बराबर नहीं होएगा, two passes. हाँ, if you go for 5/8 dia milling cutter, then yes, you can do it in two pass. But here, now let us understand first what is done here. Hmm? So now G01, that's this I have downloaded from the net, and I want to show you how these people they play with the students and how they misguide the students. So now G01, sir, now here move to cut to the second pass. Okay, so now he has moved to X4 and he is bringing it to y minus 7.2. 7.2 y minus, that means यहाँ से 4 इंच पे जा रहा है और y minus 7.2. Now इसके दिमाग में incremental बैठे है, but he has not used G91 anywhere. So the program will go as per G90 only. लेकिन ये जो प्रोग्राम जिसने भी लिखा है उसके दिमाग में इंक्रीमेंटल है, देन ही शुड हैव यूज्ड G91 समवेयर. समवेयर मतलब यहाँ पे इधर ही G01 के बाद G91 he should have used. Then it is yes. Then also there is a mistake. Now X4 में move किया, X4 मतलब यहाँ पे आएगा सेंटर लाइन. Understand? X4 और फिर now इधर से he is going 7.2 minus. अभी 7.2 minus मतलब with respect to do 7.2 minus, that means the cutter will come all the way यहाँ पे, यहाँ 7.2 and is traveling along this line. Is traveling along this line. ये जो line है ना 1 inch, this is 3 inch का line है and this is 4 inch. So this is 4 inch यहाँ से there. That means what is the size you are going to get? Obviously plus, isn't it? Obviously plus. Yes, अगर if you would have used cutter diameter compensation G41, he should have used G42. मतलब right side से ऐसा जा रहा है, okay, and then he is moving and then ऐसा आ रहा है right side से. But he has not used G42, isn't it? So that means he is going to get a oversized slot. Hmm? So that's wrong. Then G00 X3.25 and Y3.0 and Z1.5. अभी यहाँ से उसने उठाया कटर को Z1.5 पे लेके आया. Okay. Now move to cut round. Okay. Move to cut round. Now X Z1.5, that is incremental again because say this is zero point 0.5 and this is 2. So 2 minus zero point 0.5, that is 1.5. So this is what is 1.5 is. Now what he is going to cut? He is going to cut this. ये जो है ना cut कर रहे हैं, right? He is going to cut this. So that's why G02, Y3.25, I3 and J3. So he has given the centers of this radius. So now this particular program, if you want to refer and if you want to do, then you have to refer till here only N50. बाकी का सब गलत है. So now how to correct this? How to correct this? So I'll tell you now how to correct this. So first you decide now. There will be, in order to make it easy, what I will do, I will change this radius. Alright, I will change this radius 1 by 4 inch ka radius to half inch radius. Why? Because I am going to use 1 inch dia cutter. Now I am going to explain you two variations, two different programs in this. So one is by changing this radius. So this radius I will change to half inch. Why? Because I am using 1 inch ka cutter. So and this also I assume that this is 1 inch and ये जो radius है वो भी half inch का radius I will assume. So how to do it now? So first I will position it here. So G00 x will be 3.5 because this is 3 or 1 inch ka half point, so 3.5. Remember my tool number 2 is 1 inch dia end mill. Now what I am going to do, I will go down, that is Z 1 inch. Then G01 Y, how much? 6.6. So now this slot is done. Then I will lift the cutter. Lift the cutter till height 2.2. Remember the Z0 is down 2.2. Okay. Then I will bring the cutter here. यहाँ पे लेके आऊंगा cutter. What is this distance? Let us assume that this is given 3 inch. Okay. So this also 3 inch. So it will be now G00 Z 2.2. Then the cutter will come to this position, that is X 3.5 and Z 2.2. Now I'll go down again here. How much I'll go down? This much, zero point 0.5. But since Z0 is down, my Z value will be Z 1.5. From the bottom face, it will be 1.5. So Z 1.5. Hmm? I'll go rapidly because already the slot has been done till 2 inch. So it is not going to bang. Barabar hai? So I can go rapidly till Z 1.5. Then I'll say G01. G01, I have to bring it here. कहाँ तक लेके आऊंगा G01? I'll bring it till X 3 inch. कटर का सेंटर लाइन X 3 इंच पे लेके आऊंगा. So I will get this slot. But now this radius will be ऐसा सेमी सर्कुलर पूरा आधे इंच का रेडियस आ जाएगा. And X will be 3.5 जो था 3.5 से 3. So I'll get this. Then I will lift the cutter rapidly. G00 Z 2.2 मतलब 0.2 इसके ऊपर. Now I'll bring the cutter यहाँ पे either this position. Now you have to calculate this position. What is this position? X will be how much? This is 4, this is 5 or half inch. So 5.5. 5.5 में कटर का सेंटर लाइन आ जाए. Now let us calculate y. Y will be how much? 1.5, 3 that is 4.5 और उसमें से कटर का सेंटर लाइन माइनस करेंगे आधा इंच. So 4.5 minus 0.5 that will be 4 inch. So this will be X 5.5 and Y 4.5. So the cutter is positioned here. I repeat, X 5.5, Y 4.5. It is 0.2 up. Now this is solid. So I will have to go down slowly. So now I am going to use G01 and Z. How much is the depth? 0.5. But from here it will be 1.5. So G01 Z 1.5. Okay. Then that means initially I position the cutter here. Then cutter go down. Okay. And then now cutter I will move till here. X remaining same, that is 5.5. And then Y will be how much? 1.5 plus the cutter center line. Cutter diameter is 1 inch. So cutter center line will be 0.5. So 1.5 plus 0.5. So that will be G01 Y 2 inch. Y 2 inch. Okay. So this slot is also done. Alright. Then I can lift the cutter rapidly. So I'll say G0 Z 2.2. G0 Z 2.2. Then I'll say G28 or I will coolant of M09. Then next block में M05 G28 G91 X0 Y0 Z0 and then M30. That's all. Now the disadvantage of this Z, taking Z0, you have to always remember, understand, I always prefer to take Z0 on the face. So इसके ऊपर का प्लस और इसके नीचे का माइनस. That means whenever I am writing minus, I am clear that माइनस मतलब मशीनिंग करना है, प्लस मतलब हवा में, मतलब वहां पे आप रैपिडली you can play rapidly with the tool. Plus now here क्या, whenever you say plus, प्लस में आपका मशीनिंग भी हो रहा है और if it is above 2 inch then it is हवा में. So that always you have to remember. Now it is always a good practice to have Z0 on the surface because that gives a clear cut picture that if you are going in negative, Z माइनस में जा रहे हैं मतलब कटिंग हो रहा है, तो आपको G01 यूज करना है, और Z प्लस में जा रहा है मतलब आप हवा में जा रहा है तो आप प्लस यूज करो. So that was a second variation, second part. So here we change the radius. Okay. Now suppose this change in radius is not allowed. The product designer he wants this 1 by 4. Product designer he wants 1 by 4, this radius as 1 by 4. That means बीच में आपका स्ट्रेट लैंड कितने का मिलेगा, हाफ इंच का. आई होप फैमिलियर विथ इंचेस. ये आधा इंच, क्वार्टर इंच मतलब हाफ प्लस 1/4 प्लस 1/4 दैट इज 1 इंच हो जाएगा. सेम हियर ऑल्सो, दिस इज हाफ इंच, तो यहाँ पे आपको 1/4 का रेडियस चाहिए और यहाँ पे 1/4 का रेडियस चाहिए, एंड दिस यू वांट 1 इंच. दैट मीन्स आपको, दिस इज पर्पजली आई हैव टेकन इंच का बिकॉज यू पीपल नो व्हेन यू कम आउट यू डोंट नो व्हाट इज फुट एंड व्हाट इज इंच, सब भूल जाते हैं. सो ये आपका हो गया 1 इंच. So you will have corner में, I mean don't, please don't mind, but this is what actually we have seen practically. So यहाँ पे आपको कॉर्नर में 1/4 इंच का रेडियस, कॉर्नर में यहाँ पे 1/4 इंच का रेडियस, और बीच में आपको स्ट्रेट मिलेगा आधा इंच का. तो हाफ इंच 1/4 so that becomes 1 inch. So how to do this? Now moment it is 1/4 inch, I cannot use cutter more than 1/4. 1/4 इंच से ज्यादा कटर नहीं यूज कर सकते. It is obvious, isn't it? The diameter of the cutter will be, suppose if I want to have a 1/4 inch ka radius, the diameter of the cutter will be 1/4 into 2, isn't it? How much it will be? Half inch. That means I cannot use 1 inch ka cutter because 1 inch cutter will give you half inch ka radius, and half inch cutter will give you 1/4 ka radius. So I cannot use more than half inch dia cutter. Impossible, not possible. All right. Now again here there are two ways to do programming. See, programming is interesting. Hmm? Either you can use exactly half inch cutter which is going to give you this radius, or you can use any cutter which is less than half inch. If you are using half inch ka cutter, then you don't have to do G0 to G03. You have to just take the cutter here up to this point, and this radius will be calculated as per the diameter of the cutter. If you are taking cutter diameter smaller than half inch is 12, 12.7. अगर आप 10 का कटर ले रहे हो एंड 1/4 का रेडियस करना है दैट इज 6.25, देन यू, इफ यू आर गोइंग इन दिस डायरेक्शन देन यू हैव टू डू दिस बाय interpolation. So if you are moving like this, then this will be G03, that is clockwise. Clockwise. So again you will have to use here G03, 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 G03 four times. So in order to make programming simple, you can take this diameter as half inch dia milling cutter. Okay. So that you don't have to use G02, G03. Now how to do it with half inch dia? Now here you must use G41, 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 G42. You must. Hmm? So कैसा करेंगे now? So first is we'll position the cutter. That is there are three slots. एक, दो and three. So we'll position the cutter here. How much is x 3.5? What about y? Diameter is आधा इंच. So उसका आधा center line. That is 1 by 4. That is 0.25 and some clearance. So you can position this at a distance of y minus zero point 0.3. Earlier I had said 0.6. Now since cutter उसके भी आधा है, so that 0.6 will become 0.3. So 0.3 and x 3.5. Then rapidly नीचे जाइए G00 Z 1 inch, that is this distance. Then let us do milling like this, ऐसा, like this, like this, like this. Let us have path like this. You can have like this also. You can take the path like this, ऐसा, ऐसा, then like this, like this, like this, like this. ऐसा भी जा सकते हैं. Okay, no problem. So let us take like this. So now first we will take it here. We will bring. So now it is on the right hand side. Cutter is on the right hand side. See, you have to swim along with the cutter. You have to walk along with the cutters. So cutter is on the right hand side. So it will be G42. Okay. So now you say G01, G42, and X. X is how much? This distance. That is 3 inch. So the cutter will be positioned here because now you have used G42. If you don't use G42, cutter का center line यहाँ पे आ जाएगा, ऐसा आएगा cutter. Since you have used G42, cutter will offset. G42 is offset. Okay, so you say G01 x 3 inch. Then आप यहाँ पे लेके आइए cutter को. That is this. Okay, this distance. So how much is this point? Now you have to calculate. ये 1 inch है. So this is, you have to give only this point. You don't have to do any calculations. आपको ये point, this point you are given, this point, this point, this point, and यहाँ का point. ऐसा point देना है. You don't have to consider the cutter diameter because the cutter diameter, that care will be taken by the tool offset. So अभी ये point it is simple. अभी ये कितना आएगा? This is 1 inch. So 3 inch minus half inch. So 2.5. Okay. So x 1 inch आपने दिया. यहाँ पे आ गया tool. Now you give y 2.5. Okay. So the cutter will offset accordingly. Cutter right में है तो cutter थोड़ा आगे जाएगा, ऐसा आएगा cutter. Okay. That is not your lookout. That G42 का lookout है. So now यहाँ पे आपने y 2.5 दिया. Then you have to give this x. How much is this x? 3 inch minus 0.5. So that is 2.5. बराबर है. So x आप 2.5 दे दो. बराबर है. That means cutter will come. Now you have to give कौन सा? This. How much is this? ये फ्लैट कितना है? 0.5. So 0.5 में से 0.25 माइनस करो. Okay. 0.25 minus 4. So 3 inch minus 0.25. So that will be how much? 2.75. So this will be 2.75. Then you say G01Y 3.25. So the cutter will come here. So you have to give this point. Then you have to give this point. ये point दे दो. फिर this point. Then this point. Then you have to give this point and then come here. यहाँ पे आने के बाद now here your y is how much? 3.5. The cutter is going like this, okay. Then it will come out here. Then now let us take cutter little out. So instead of saying y exactly 6 inch, we'll say y 6.3. Then take the cutter here. So x will be how much now? 4 inch. Okay. Then let the cutter come here. Y minus 0.3. Now bring the cutter here. X 3.5. Y minus 0.3, that is the start position, and G40. Remember to give G40. Remember to give G40. Okay, so that is cancellation. ये होने के बाद आप कटर को उठाओ. Okay, so G0 Z 2.2. Now let's bring the cutter here, exactly at the center of this. Z is now cutter is 0.2 above this surface. What is this dimension? X 5.5, and this will be Y 3 inch. 1.5 plus इसका आधा, so Y 3 inch. X 5.5, Y 3 inch. अभी आपको कटर आस्ते नीचे घुसाना है. So it will be G01 Z minus, sorry, not minus. This is what happens. So Z 1.5, this height 1.5, because this depth is 0.5. So G01 Z 1.5. Then now you use again, you do like this only G42. The cutter will from here, it will come here, it will touch here, it will go like this. So it is on the right hand side. So G01 Z 1.5, G41. Then no need to write G01. Then say X. X is how much now? This. This is at a distance of, ये कितना हो गया हम लोग calculate किए. This is 3, 4, 5. So this is 5. So X5. Alright. X5 होने के बाद give this point Y. Okay. So Y is how much? 1.5 plus 3, that is 4.5. Then you give this point. Okay. This point is how much? ये 5.5 पे था. So 5.5 minus, this is total is 0.5. So 5.5 minus 0.25. So X will be 5.25. Hello. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. So this will be 5.5 minus 0.25. So that will be X 5.25 and Y will be 4.5. See 5.25 may you add 5.5. So now from here cutter will come to here, that is X 5.75. Okay. Then this point, that is how much? X 6 inch. Okay. Or you can, instead of giving 5.75, you can straight away give X 6, because you are using the cutter diameter of half, so that radius will come automatically. So you, instead of giving this point and this point, straight away you give this point. बराबर है. So I will now change it. So same thing you can adopt here also. So यहाँ पे आप गए Z 1.5, then you use G01, G42, X how much? 5. Then आप सीधा यहाँ पे लेके, this is much simpler. सीधा यहाँ पे this point. So this point is Y 4.5. Then straight away you come here, and this is more correct also, because you are using cutter diameter half inch. So then half inch is going to generate the radius 1 by 4 inch. What I was telling you, if you are using cutter diameter less than half inch. So here आप यहाँ पे touch किए, then you straight away come to Y 4.5, then straight away come to this point. Means you have to assume that this is a rectangle with a sharp corner. But you will not get sharp corner. You will get a radius of 1 by 4, because you are using a cutter diameter half inch. So cutter यहाँ पे, then Y 4.5, can simply say X how much? 6 inch. Okay. Then सीधा यहाँ पे लेके आओ Y 1.5, then X 5 inch, then Y how much? 3 inch, and then bring it to the center, that is X 5.5 and Y 4.5 G40. Same thing here also. आपने यहाँ पे लेके आए, so just give this point. ये point देने के बाद just give this, then you give this point, and then you give this point. No need to give this point, this point, this point, this point, this point. See, these points are required if you are using a cutter diameter less than half inch. Alright. Since we are using half inch का diameter, this radius will come automatically. That is, see, आपने tool यहाँ पे touch किया end में, then यहाँ से आप यहाँ पे लेके गए this point. So the cutter is like this, isn't it? Cutter ऐसा है. So this radius is going to generate automatically. And how much? 1 by 4. Why? Because cutter diameter is half inch. So you don't have to give this point and this point. If you are using smaller cutter, that is less than half inch, 10 का cutter, then you need to stop here, this point, then you have to give this radius, you need to stop this, then यहाँ से यहाँ पे, then यहाँ पे, like that. So 1 2 3 4 points आपको देना पड़ेगा if you are using a cutter diameter lesser than half inch. But if you are using half inch, then it will be only 2 points. That is, one is this and this. And then once you brought the cutter again back into the center, then cutter go uthao. Okay. So finally, in this, what I will conclude, because I'm sure that you are confused now. So many things. So we will keep this radius as 1/4. This width is 1 inch. This width is also 1 inch. This radius is also 1/4. This radius is also 1/4. So you are going to use only two tools. One is your 5 dia drill, and second is your half-inch dia milling cutter. Okay, you are going to get a small land here, but it is fine. At a student level, it is acceptable. Practically in the industry, it will not be accepted. Hmm? But now you have constraint because you have this radius as 1/4, so you cannot use more than half inch. If you want, you can write a note also. Hmm? So two cutters, another one is fire drill and another is half inch dia milling cutter. Then you must use G41 or G42. Drilling होने के बाद, yeah. Before that, I will add that you take this as X0Y0, or even you can take it in the center. Center is much convenient. Please take Z0 here. Okay. Then drilling is simple. Then for the milling, you position the cutter here, or you can position the cutter here also, anywhere. Here it is fine because there is no repetition. फिर यहाँ पे जाने के बाद आप टूल को यहाँ पे लेके आओ, then like this, then like this, like this, like this way out, then थोड़ा हवा में, then like this, and again in the center. then यहाँ से आप कटर को उठाओ, यहाँ पे लेके जाओ in the center of this slot, go down, then take it like this, bring it here, bring it here, bring it here, bring it here, then center, then again bring it here center or here to the parking position. I hope it is clear. Huh? Next class we'll go for the round components. This round component, that is components which can be done on the CNC lathe. If you have any doubt, you please ask. Otherwise, you can attend your next class, next lecture.
Thank you, sir.